Hello, and welcome to my video on how to RNG a shiny flawless Pokemon. Once you open up RNG Reporter 9.95, you're going to select your method. Now for eggs, you have to use either black and white breeding or black and white international breeding. International basically means the parents are from two different countries like Japan and America, whereas breeding, just the regular breeding black and white, means that they're from the same region. I'm using a Japanese Ditto and an American Applegore, so I will click Breeding Black and White International. Second, I'm using a Ditto parent, so I'm going to select that. If you are using a Ditto parent, be sure to select that box. Also, do not select anything else other than the Everstone if you are using one, because you will enter all this other information in later on. Now, about Everstones, do not use an Everstone if you are beginning. It is very, very hard to tell which frame you actually hit if you're not used to hitting certain frame. Alright, after that, go to DS Parameter Search. This should bring up a second dialog. Select your version, which is mine is Pokemon Black English. Now, you'll have to enter your DS MAC address. This can be found by going to your game and scrolling down to Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, and then clicking on System Information, and then click on MAC address, and you just enter that in. I already have mine saved into a Word document, so I'll just copy and paste that into RNG Reporter. I am not using any held buttons. Now, I personally like to RNG in 2011, so I will have to change my date on that. But go ahead and enter whatever date is on your DS, as well as the day, month, year, everything like that. Okay, after we do this, and after we have everything like that set up, we will need to select the hour and minute we will be entering in and starting the game at. I usually recommend starting on like hour, minute, and then seconds of 25. For me, I'm just going to do 05, 25. And as soon as I get that set on my DS, I will come back. Okay, so now that we have this done, it is time to actually go to our DS. Be sure you have saved in the last cave of Victory Road, and I will see you soon. Alright, now we're on our DS. Like I said, I am at 05, 25. Click OK. Now look at that little clock. The reason why I say you want to do this at 25 seconds is because it allows you to turn your DS off and make any other adjustments. Now wait until the clock hits the second of 25, and as soon as it hits the second of 25, you will want to click A. Now, do not press any buttons at all. I will tell you when you can press buttons. Let this little animation finish and let the game go completely black before pressing the A button. Okay. Start the game with C gear off. Try to press the buttons around the same time every time. I've just noticed this gives me a more constant timer 0. Alright, now go to your Pokemon with Sweet Scent and use it. Proceed to catch the Pokemon as quickly as possible. Also, if you only have one Master Ball, this will not matter because you will be resetting this, so it is okay if you use it. Alright, now that we caught this Pokemon, it's time to go back to the computer. On your DS, you will want to open up the Pokemon that you just caught and go to its summary. Next, click IVs, calculate IVs from stats. Oh, forgot. No, I didn't. Go to, type in the Pokemon you caught. I caught a Woobat. Its nature, is lonely. Its characteristic is scatters things often. Its level is 39. Its HP is 102. Attack is 53. Defense is 38. Special attack is 51. Special defense is 48. And speed is 66. We will check IVs. For whatever reason, it decided it wanted to go to War Turtle. So we will go back to Woobat. And I don't know what is wrong with this thing right now. Woobat. There we go. Click IVs. There we go. Now click OK, and then click search. It will do its little process, and look, there it found one. You want to look at the actual seconds, because this is the actual time that the game sees. And so basically, later on, if RNG Reporter tells you to, say, go to a seed that's at 05:05:27, instead of entering the game at 27 seconds, you enter it at 26 because we're off by 1. Now, the timer 0 also matters because that just determines a lot of things like Pokemon, IVs, natures, blah, 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 blah. Mine happens to be C7C. Now, we will want to repeat this process over and over, and we will be getting the same exact Pokemon with the same exact nature and everything else, and getting the same timer 0 and same seed and same actual seconds over and over and over. When you get that, it is time to move on to the next step. Just for purposes, I will show you how to do this one more time. I am back on my DS now, and I have set the time to 05:05 once again, and I'm about to click A. Alright, turn off your DS and turn it back on. Like before, we will start the game at 25-second mark. And remember, you have to start the game at the 25-second mark if you did it the first time. There. Like before, we will not be pressing any buttons at all until the Game Freak's animation turns completely black. And like before, we will be trying to click the same buttons around the same time as we did before. Just like before, we will sweet scent for the Pokemon. Just like before, we will capture the Pokemon. That should be a Woobat at level 39. And it is. Now we will just simply catch the Pokemon once more. And then as soon as you catch the Pokemon, go back to RNG Reporter and do the same thing, like calculate IVs from stats, enter in all the information, then click search. Be sure that the seed is the same, the actual seconds is the same, and your timer 0 is the same. Alright, back to the computer. Alright, we are back on the computer, and we will basically do the same thing. Calculate IVs from stats. We will go to Woobat. Its nature is lonely. My characteristic is scatters things often. My level was 39. My HP was 102, attack was 53, 38, 51, 48, and 66. We will calculate IVs, click OK, and we'll do one more search. And look, that's the exact same seed, same actual seconds, and same timer 0. If you keep getting this result over and over for at least 4 times, then that means you're ready to move on to the next step. However, if you do not get it same time over and over and over, that's okay, because you will just have to keep practicing. Be sure to click this, the buttons around the same time, same seconds as you do each single time. It's not an exact science. You just have to get into a kind of routine. Now, once you're ready to do this, we click Use Results in Time Finder. And that is what we want to do. Alright, now this brings up Time Finder. You will want to click on the Eggs tab. you want to click the month that you are using. Now, if you are looking for a shiny Pokemon and your parents are not from different regions, then you may need to increase the months, because the chances are of you getting the IVs with the shininess you want, and if your parents aren't flawless or near flawless and you don't have a different region Pokemon, that will be kind of hard to do. Now, for your min and max frames, I usually like to set my min to 5 and my max to 70. I'm using a Ditto parent, and I'm using an international parent. That is what I select. Now, my mother's IV, which is my Ditto, because my father parent is an Aquagore. My Ditto is flawless. That I had a friend who has the Japanese version RNG for me. Now, my father has 31, 31, 31, 31, 31, 30. And I had RNG'd him previously. The baby I want to have is this. The nature we want, well, the Everstone we want is timid. Like I said before, do not use an Everstone if this is your first time. The nature that I want is timid. The ability I want is 1. Now, if you do not know the ability that your Pokemon can have, check on Cerebi.net. Their Pokemon Black Pokedex will tell you which ability is which. The first ability that they will list will be ability 0, and the second ability they list will be ability 1. And then the hidden ability will be its Dream World ability. I do not want the Dream World ability, so I don't really care. The gender, I'm not too worried about. And I want shiny only. Also, if you are not coming up with any seeds, click DS Parameter Setup, and then add key presses. I usually do about 2 key presses, and I switch back to my Eggs tab. And then I will click Generate. This may take a while depending on your parents, the IVs you want, if you want a shiny, nature, all that kind of stuff. So I will come back when mine has been set up. Alright, I have now found a seed for the Pokemon I want. Now, the things that we need to look at on this are the frame, and then you want to look at the time and date, and then the key presses. For the time and date, you will need to go onto your DS and set it for May 17th, 2011. Well, this is only for me. You don't have to do this, but this is the date I have to set my DS to. The time I have to set it to is 16, which would be 4 o'clock, then the minute of 41, and then wait for the second of 47. Now, because my actual seconds was off by 1 earlier, I will deduct 1 second off of my second time here. So instead of entering the game at 47, I will enter the game at 46. Alright, now we want to right-click this and click Copy Seed to Clipboard. We will want to go back to the main page of RNG Reporter, and it will load, and we will paste my results in the seed right here. Next, we will calculate initial PID RNG frame. Mine is at 50. Then we will click Generate. We will wait for this to load. Okay, that is loaded. Now, we look at frame number, what was it? 69. You look at frame 69. And that is timid and shiny. So, basically, all this means is that you take this frame, which is at 69, and subtract it by your starting frame, which is at 53. Meaning I will need to do 16. Yours, of course, will be different because we will not have the same seed, the same frame, and the same IVs and everything like that. So, basically, that is the formula. Frame minus starting frame is equal how many frame advances you will have to do. Now it's time to go back to the DS. I should probably mention something really quickly. Now, under key presses, if you decided to do key presses, this means that as soon as you click A on the DS screen, you will need to hold down whatever buttons it says under key presses. For me, I will need to do A. I will need to hold down the button A. And then you will hold it down until like the little copyright screen goes black. That is what I personally do. Alright, now back to the DS.